Welcome to the Positosis Podcast, coming at you live from the Pacific Northwest. Thank you for tuning in. Here, we keep it positive, keep it real, and keep it going. Let's give it up for our host, Chris Toledo!
Oh yeah, Chris Toledo, CT in the house. Hey, thank you, Aiden, for that awesome introduction. You know what? That's exactly what I'm talking about. That's the energy. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the Positosis Podcast. Season 1, Episode 6. Today's theme, you know what? Today's theme about bringing that energy. Just like Aiden, who gave us that awesome introduction. Aiden, thank you, brother. That was awesome. That energy. You heard the energy in his voice. You heard him bring it. Positosis is energy. Positosis is bringing that positive energy to every single thing that you do. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, I got to keep it real. Having a positive energy, adapting the positosis mindset, that doesn't mean that makes everything perfect. All that does is it gets you off onto the right foot. How many times has this happened to you where you're having the day, maybe things aren't going exactly the way that you would like them to go, and you're talking to somebody mid-morning, and oftentimes I've heard, you know what, I just got off on the wrong foot today. I just got out of the wrong side of the bed. What does that mean? Got off on the wrong side of the bed. Well, so positosis is getting out of bed on the right side, on the positive side. Shout out to everybody today tuning in. I love all you positosis players out there. Much appreciated. Once again, today's theme is the energy of positosis. Positosis is energy. Actually, studies have shown that 75% of everything is energy. The Positosis Podcast is an episodic podcast. That means that you can go to any episode and listen to any podcast in any numerical order. We don't necessarily build one episode on top of the other. I prefer to just kick it around. And sometimes, I actually think sometimes it's even better just to randomly choose an episode, hit whatever, and that's going to be the message that you need to hear for that day. In that, I totally believe. Positosis is a lifestyle choice, a concept. It's a philosophy that focuses on the positive, and positosis is a state of being that has its own rhythm, its own cadence and flow. Positosis takes time and renews energy, and it also requires a solid effort and is directly located in the center. Get this. Listen to this, folks. It's located directly in the center of your sweet spot. Did that ever happen? Like oh man, that hit the sweet spot. That sweet spot that we often talk about. A lot of times, I hear tennis players talking about the sweet spot when they're playing tennis. Even these top-tier professional tennis players, they're playing, and when they hit the ball exactly in the exact perfect spot of the racket. They don't have to swing super, super hard. They just have to get the right location in that place on that racket. And these pros, even these weekend tennis players like you and I, those that are tennis players, like you can feel it when you hit the sweet spot. I'm not like a really big golfer, but I've golfed a couple times, and I have somebody, a colleague of mine that used to take me out onto the golf course, and excellent player. And I just remember that he used to tell me, you know, I would see the hole super far, 300 or 400 some yards way down the way. I could barely even see where I'm supposed to hit the ball. And so oftentimes my thought was, I'm going to wind up and whack this thing. And I remember he used to tell me, dude, just chill. Focus more on the proper fundamentals and just nice and easy. Swing through, keep your focus, stay calm, keep breathing, keep your body relaxed. And when you hit the ball and you hit it properly, you will feel it. And I didn't feel it for a long time. I just was just whacking that ball, and it was going every place else but my intended target. And then that one magical moment happened. That breakout moment on the golf court happened, where I just relaxed. I put my feet wherever they were supposed to go. I turned my shoulders and turned my hips, or whatever you're supposed to do. I guess I did it right. And I swung through, whap! Even the sound of hitting that ball sounded different. Basically, what had happened is I got into the sweet spot. So I've talked about tennis as far as the sweet spot. I've talked about golf in terms of the sweet spot. But what I would love for you to do is you to put it in your language. What's your sweet spot? What areas of life where when you hit that sweet spot, when you find that sweet spot, when you move and operate from that sweet spot, does it really help everything? The sweet spot. I just love it. And so when you hit that sweet spot, when you locate the sweet spot, when you feel that sweet spot and you move from that sweet spot, usually it's a different feeling. Usually the results are a little bit different. And so let's back up a little bit and let's talk about how to discover your sweet spot. Well, just like anything, in order to make discoveries, you have to go out there and look. You have to go out there and search. You have to go out there and try. In one of my last podcasts, I was talking about fun and games and how fun has become very important and is very important in my life, and making a game out of everything helps me find my sweet spot. Most all of us in our lifetime have that thing, that one activity, that one thing that we just love. I spoke about a lot of the passions that I have, all the way from, I love riding my skateboard. I love to skate. I love riding my roller skates. I love playing basketball. I absolutely love surfing. I love the feeling of surfing. I love the challenge. I love the sport. I love to swim. I swim every single morning at 5 o'clock in the morning. And although these things may be seen as just things that I love to do, I look at these things as necessities in my life. Excuse me. Got to clear my throat. DJ Cool, let me clear my throat. Okay, shout out to DJ Cool. If you don't know DJ Cool, Google it. Let Me Clear My Throat is a really awesome song talking about bringing the energy and upbeat tempo. Oof, it's nice. DJ Cool, Let Me Clear My Throat. Check it out. Shout out, brother. Fun and games. And we've talked, and in the episode, I believe that it was episode 4 that we about fun and games, when we were talking about ultimately whatever happens, maybe at the moment it's a high intensity moment, and whatever the situation is and was is whatever the situation is and was. But typically what happens is down the line into the future, at some point, you circle it back around to those memories. And oftentimes, more often than not, we end up laughing and having fun about that happened back in the day that maybe at the moment was a challenging situation. So the point is that at some point we know that we're going to end up laughing about it. Laughing about that same situation that at the moment brought us a lot of heaviness. So the concept behind turning everything into fun and games is to shorten the distance between when you laugh about it, when you can smile about it, and turn it into a game. The other thing that I would like to touch on today in our podcast is oftentimes, we've all heard that term as far as kids, children. It takes a village. Whether mom and dad are both at home raising the kids, or whether it's just mom or it's just dad. Oftentimes they say it takes a village. And I really believe that to be true. I did a lot of my son's parenting, most of my son's parenting on my own as he was growing up. And for a lot of times I called myself a single parent. But in reality, I wasn't a single parent. It does take a village. And there were so many people that would come in and lend a helping hand in different ways. And so this positosis movement, the positosis mindset, it takes a village. And yes, individually, as you increase the level of positivity in your life, that will help you. But collectively, it's helping everybody. Basically, the more positosis you have, the better it is for the whole wide world. The more positive I am, the more positive that I can be, the more that it's going to help every single person that has anything to do with me. And so today's episode, we kicked it off. Aiden, who does professional voiceovers, has helped me with that intro. He did that intro for me, and so that's just one example of how it takes a village. So Aiden also is a very interesting young man, attending college, and he's the school mascot for the university that he goes to, and he's pursuing a career in doing professional voiceovers. Man, I love that. Anybody that's pursuing that they're passionate about, oh my God, that's so awesome. What are you passionate about? What are you passionate about? What part of your life do you bring that high level energy like Aiden did at the beginning of this podcast? Ladies and gentlemen, once again, shout out to everybody tuning in. Positosis is the mostest. You've heard me say that often. Positosis is the mostest. In the comment section, I've heard a lot of you have reached out to me and said, what does that really mean? When you say positosis is the mostest, Chris, what do you mean? Well, first of all, I think two of those 5 words are words that I made up. Positosis, we've talked about the origins and history of positosis. And mostest, I don't even think that's a real word. But I get it. Like it's the most of the most. And so when I say positosis is the mostest, what I am really saying, ladies and gentlemen, is that for me, being positive is the biggest and the most important thing. Yes, that's it. Being positive is the most important thing. Being positive, having a positosis mindset helps every single thing in my life. It helps me become, in my opinion, a better father. It helps me be more patient. It helps me grow my level of empathy. It helps me as an MC. It helps me as a motivational speaker. It helps me as your Positosis podcast host. It helps everything. This was an awesome moment. Anybody out there looking for somebody to do professional voiceovers, hit me up. Hit me up at positosis.com and I will put you in touch with Aiden. Ladies and gentlemen, you're awesome. It's all good. Positosis is the mostest. Love you too.